3 years after the disappointing launch, the compilation has received a significant update that makes it worth playing. The gaming industry has seen its fair share of disappointing releases year in and year out. Flops come and go, some on a much larger scale than others. In comparison, 2021 doesn't seem all that terrible, with flops like Battlefield 2042 sticking out the most. However, it is also marked the launch of Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the definitive edition, which is a packaged the Rockstar classic 3D trilogy of GTA 3, Vice City and San Andreas into one remastered compilation. To say that all three titles are beloved among fans would be an understatement, especially given how much influential they are for modern open-world games we know them. Even with the trilogy's lack of footage leading up to the launch, everyone are still hyped up course. But the rest is history. Performance issues on consoles, misspelled glitches, bugs, crashes, broken animations, or oddly modeled characters, like some of them look nothing like the original games. And the rain from San Andreas made it difficult to see anything, and were not only the beginning, but then it cost $60, which rubbed many people the wrong way. Its Metacritic user scores plummeted at 0.4 at launch and this currently sits at 1.1. Not that critic scores are any better at 51. Metascores for PS5 version based on was only 47 reviews. The less said about other platforms the better. It was a messy time. Even with Rockstar issuing a refund on PC, the trilogy sold over 10 million copies as of February 2022. That roughly 3 months after the launch, seemingly indicating that most of would wait for fixes. Maybe they were content with the current package. Blames were allocated across the board, first to Grove Street Games, which also faced criticism for its 10th anniversary port of GTA 3 and Vice City for the handling of this project. Then to Rockstar for going ahead with the release despite its sad state. Regardless, fixes did arrive roughly a month after launch, adding a cinematic camera to all games, fixing several misspelled signs, and improving the stability. It even prevented rain from appearing indoor. Ignore why this happened in the first place. However, the most significant one would appear on Android and iOS when those versions launched in December 2023. Published by Netflix and developed by Video Games Deluxe, it improves the experience significantly. Not only were the visuals are better than the current versions on console and PC, but it also captures the feels of the classic. The obvious question was, when was it would arrive on other platforms, and if at all? After nearly a year of no news, it is finally arrived on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, PC and Nintendo Switch, bringing a laundry list of fixes, improvements, even some quality of life features. Between all the fixes and updates done throughout the years, the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition is worth dipping back into. The GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition is finally worth playing in 2024, even though it's still not quite perfect. Though the official patch notes aren't available, the community members like TJGM and Videotech UK on the Twitter have already begun the compiling of most significant changes. Let's start with the positive. The biggest one being the classic lighting, which restores the lighting in each title to resemble the original games. It now applies across all areas in each title. So instead of Liberty City looking oddly bright at night during the rain, it is now appropriately dark and borderline gothic. San Andreas looks phenomenal with its orange hues of the opening restored and looking better than ever. It's the biggest jump visually, but that's only the start, as volumetric clouds are now present in GTA San Andreas when flying high in the sky. Shadows now realistically move in time with the position of the sun. Those awkward shifting shadows of overhead structures from before are gone, and the movement are much more natural. The fire has some additional bloom and lens flares added alongside new and more realistic glass breaking effects. Cube map reflections are back and look much better than previous screen space reflections. Several issues with frame pacing have also been addressed, and performances is better on current gen platforms, PC and even the Xbox Switch, and even on the Nintendo Switch. Of course, each game has its own fair share of fixes. The neon lights at Malibu Club and other locations in Vice City has been restored, while GTA 3 has better rain effect now more than ever and texture improvement. Sandstorms in San Andreas are now properly portrayed. Market stations are looking far better with lighting added to the tunnels. Siege's character model while cycling has been fixed, and most important of all, the lampposts throughout the world are now orange instead of white. It is truly a brand new world. Even the birds have returned across all three games. There are a fair share of gameplay improvements as well. In GTA 3 and Vice City now allow shooting and moving with weapons like shotguns and assault rifles, which previously were not possible. Movement animations while aiming also look far smoother. You can also pause during cutscene and save files to display the date and time, making it far easier to discern. With all that being said, there are still some issues across three titles. Siege's face is more in line with the original, and other character models like Dennis still looks completely out of place. The level of details is also quite underwhelming and in some areas downright awful, while the camera will continuously auto-center if moved, which is the most annoying when flying. Poorly upscaled artworks can still be found in San Andreas, and interior lighting requires changes to resemble the original games. Nevertheless, the current state of the GTS Trilogy is still far superior than its launch. That launch definitive aka the defective edition was horrible, and it won't be without controversy, of course, with Grove Street Games logo and name removed from the intro and the main menu screen. Founder Thomas Williamson criticized the removal of developers from the game's credit. which isn't the case because the name is still there in the end credits. Their name are still there in the end credits. But also revealed that the last updates includes hundreds of patches that were hundreds of fixes that were provided by those developers that stayed out of players' hand for years. Which fixes the studio specifically worked on in this update is unknown, but it does raises an interesting point. GTA Trilogy, the Definitive Edition patch fixes several issues, but there are still works to be done. 3 years after its disappointing launch, the compilation has received a significant update that could make it worth playing. So I'm very hopeful for the future of this version and this game, like game compilation of these 3 games. And I'm very hopeful that the modders will be able to create something truly impressive with this version that were released 3 years ago. Finally. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching.